Hello everybody, it's Adrian for Wapcar.my and I'm all about the details. Now, off the back of the Mazda 3 review video which we uploaded last week, today I'm going to talk about C-segment sedans in Malaysia, specifically Japanese-make C-segment sedans. Now, as you can see behind me here is my family's Honda Civic Turbo, which we acquired in 2016 when the car was first launched. So today, it'll be quite interesting to compare the Honda Civic against the Mazda 3 as well as the Toyota Corolla Altis. Now let's take a trip down memory lane back to 2016 when the 10th generation Civic FC was first launched in Malaysia. Now during that time, it single-handedly revitalized the C-segment sedan market. Nobody wanted a C-segment because they can go for a cheaper B-segment or a SUV and crossover for the same amount of money. But the Honda Civic, with its striking good looks, generous equipment, as well as the 1.5-litre turbocharged 4-cylinder petrol engine, it's the first turbo engine offered by a Japanese manufacturer, and it packs 173 horsepower and 220 Newton meters of torque. And during that time, it seems like nobody cared that it came with a CVT because the Honda Civic is the best-selling non-national C-segment sedan in Malaysia. And then in 2020, Honda Malaysia launched the facelifted Honda Civic, which came with improved styling, larger wheels, enhanced ergonomics and practicality, as well as the Honda Sensing safety features. Unfortunately, prices have went up between 5 to 10,000 ringgit, but even so, I still think that the Honda Civic facelift is still one of the most competitive package in the Japanese C-segment sedan. Toyota and Mazda are trying to claw back on the Civic's dominance with their all-new Toyota Corolla Altis and Mazda 3, and I think they offer similar levels of equipment as the Honda Civic facelift. Not to mention, both of those cars looks just as good, if not better than the Honda Civic. Let's start with the all-new Mazda 3. It's now in its latest 4th generation model and was first launched in Malaysia in 2019 last year. Now, to me, it's a piece of moving art, and rightfully so because it's just recently crowned as the world's most beautiful car, and for very good reason. Just check out our review video if you haven't. Now, Burma's Motor offers the 4th generation Mazda 3 in a wide variety, a wide range of variant to choose from. So you get two engine options, the 1.5 and 2-litre NA, and you get different types of high spec and low specification. The highest specification is fully loaded. It comes with the full suite of iActive Sense advanced driving assistance system. It comes with the sunroof, beautiful leather upholstery and all that. But the problem is it's priced at 160,000 ringgit. Now, how should I describe 160,000 ringgit? For the same amount of money, you can get a CX-5, you can get a CR-V Turbo, and you can get even a Proton X70 plus a Proton Saga. Yes, for a price of a Mazda 3, the 160,000. But even so, it's a fantastic driver's car. It's a fantastic car to drive, despite it having a torsion beam and the rear axles. Don't for a moment think that it's going to be terrible. In fact, it's quite the opposite. Right. So I've read some of your comments on our Facebook page, on our YouTube channel, comment section. A lot of you have been asking, what about the Skyactiv X petrol engine? Why can't we have it? And one of the comments was quite interesting, why we can't have the Skyactiv X petrol engine priced the same way as the 2-litre NA. Well, to put it in very simple terms, the Skyactiv X is a highly high-tech advanced engine. It uses a very different way of combustion, very different way of compression. So it requires a very high grade of fuel, which Malaysia currently doesn't offer. Our Euro 4M is not quite sufficient enough for the engine to run consistently and reliably. Hence, even for Mazda to calibrate that engine and offer it to adapt it to our local fuel usage, it's going to push the prices up, and I'm talking about astronomical amounts. A Skyactiv X Mazda 3 in Malaysia, the rough estimate given by Burma's Motor would be over 200,000 ringgit. Yes, just let that sink in for a moment. You're paying BMW, Mercedes money for a Mazda 3, and that does not mix any business sense at all. It doesn't make any sense for the buyers, it doesn't make any sense for Mazda, Burma's Motor. So they just offered the 2-litre and 1.5-litre choices for you guys. And even so, the 2-litre Skyactiv G petrol engine is a rather decent engine as well. It comes with high compression ratio, it comes with direct injection, It offers 162 horsepower and 213 Newton meters of torque. It's linked to a 6-speed automatic transmission with sports mode, paddle shifters and all that. And I think it's quite a decent engine that offers good enough performance for the Mazda 3. Okay, now moving on to the Toyota Corolla Altis. It's now in its latest 12th generation form and it was first launched in Malaysia in 2019. Like the Mazda 3, it's also fully imported CBU. Right, so the latest Corolla Altis uses the new TNGA platform shared with the highly accomplished Camry. So it promises low center of gravity, great driving fun and all that, and it uses double wishbone suspension on the rear axles. So UMW Toyota offers two variants of the Corolla Altis, and in its highest trim, it comes with the full suite of Toyota Safety Sense ADAS, and that's a very big deal. Unfortunately, the Corolla Altis still uses the previous generation powertrain. Yes, it still uses the same 1.8 litre naturally aspirated 4-cylinder dual VVTi petrol engine with CVT, and it only pushes out 139 horsepower and 172 Newton meters of torque. So among the three, it has the weakest engine. Right, so now you might be thinking why there's no hybrid, why there's no 1.2 turbo as seen in other markets. Well, let's start with the hybrid. The hybrid will not be feasible unless government incentives helps to offers incentives for locally assembling hybrid cars in Malaysia. Otherwise, it's going to be pretty expensive to assemble here and sell, pushing up the prices even further. Personally, I would quite want the 1.8 hybrid because that is quite a decent powertrain and it offers a lot of punch. Onto the 1.2 litre turbo. Don't get me wrong, yes, there's a word turbo in it, but it's a very different type of turbo engine compared to, let's say, the Civic. The Civic has a lot of performance, has a lot of punch, a lot of grunt. But the 1.2 turbo by Toyota, that engine, it's purely for efficiency. So you can imagine this, from 0 to 60, it's decent, it has plenty of grunt, it has plenty of shove. But let's say you're traveling at 110 kilometers per hour and you floor the throttle, the car, well, quote unquote, just doesn't move and it doesn't offer the same amount of torquiness and power band as seen in, like, for example, the Honda Civic Turbo. So that 1.2 litre turbo for a Corolla Altis, and given how Malaysian driving climate, we travel a lot of highways and all that, it's not going to be a suitable engine for our local market. Now, Hans has drove and reviewed the Corolla Altis in full, so make sure you go onto our website, Wapcar.my, to read the full review there. On to interior finish. The Mazda 3 is by far has the most expensive looking, most high quality cabin. You just get soft touch materials everywhere. High quality, in fact, high quality soft touch materials. The Altis, on the other hand, looks a bit dated, a little bit too simple, very Toyota. So for youngsters, younger audience, they probably wouldn't fancy it because everything is just too simplistic, nothing to shout about. But don't get me wrong, for the older crowd, they would prefer something a little bit simple. They know where the buttons are, everything is very easily accessible instead of having touchscreen everything. So again, the Altis interior design just appeals to a different type of audience. The Civic, I feel, is still by far the most futuristic looking, the most high-tech looking cabin among them all. So for starters, you get a full LCD instrument cluster. Everything is digital and all that. And on the center here, you get a floating touchscreen infotainment head unit, and it's well integrated. The UI is all very connected with the instrument cluster. So it's still by far the most high-tech and futuristic looking cabin. But ultimately, which would I pick? My pick of the lot would have to be the Mazda 3, simply because I love how it looks, I love how it drives, and I'm just very pleased and happy, excited about the Mazda brand. If you can tell, I have a Mazda 2 at home as well. So, but I have to admit that 160,000 ringgit for the Mazda 3, it's ridiculous amount of money. It's very expensive. The Civic, I feel, is still the smartest choice for the best bang for your buck. You get the most performance, you get the looks, you get the features and all that it's just great value for money. And it is also by far the most practical sedan among the lot. It has the largest boot space, and in the facelift you can fold the rear seats down for even more space. And the engine is also the most fuel efficient among the three engine choices. You just can't beat a turbocharged and CVT combo. On the highway, fuel economy is just fantastic. The Altis, I feel, is more suited for a more mature type of audience. Somebody who prefers smooth driving, smooth handling, and reliable technology. There you have it. Personally, for my choice, Mazda 3. But what about you? I want to hear your choice. Which one would you pick? Would you pick the Mazda 3, Corolla Altis, or the Honda Civic facelift? Let me know in the comment section below. As always, thanks for watching. We hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more videos like this.